Long before our time, the Creator created the five goddesses. Although he felt that there is something missing, so he planned to create a man out of clay. Felt disrespected by this, one of the angels rebelled against the Creator. And commit the ultimate sin and had an affair with one of the goddesses. As punishment, the Creator sent the product of this unholy union to the earth. And then the angel and his lover cried in agony and despair.
King Laius of Thebes was the third in descent from Cadmus. He married a distant cousin Eucasta. With the reign, Apollo's oracle at Delphi began to play a leading part in the family's fortunes.
Your Highness is coming! Please give more, my queen!
Go to the mountains and tie it to a tree. Let the monster devour him.
He felt no more fear. He was sure that at this point, he could foretell the future better than the god. The shepherd untied the child's feet and treated his wounds. He baptized the baby as
Oedipus. That's your name because of your swollen feet.
However, the shepherd was extremely poor and not capable to provide for the child's need. he goes to Corinth.
My lord, have mercy on this child. Take it and raise it as your own. I am not suitable to be this child's father. I have nothing to offer.
Having no child, King Pholebus and Queen Merope decided to adopt Oedipus as their son. Oedipus grew as a man of great courage and great intelligence. He lived happily as the crown prince of Corinth. However, during a celebration, one of the noblemen insulted Oedipus.
All hail to the pony prince!
What?
You're just an outsider! You are not heir to the throne of Corinth!
Being confused, Oedipus talks to the king, but the latter told him to don't mind what the man says. Oedipus, wanting to know the truth, he decided to go to Delphi and question Apollo. But God refused to answer and told him the prophecy.
Please, I beg you, tell me the truth.
You are fated to kill your father and marry your mother.
He too, like Laius, thought to make it impossible for the oracle to come true. He resolved never to see King Pholebus again. Oedipus was disheartened and left Corinth. Along the crossroads, he met a wagon accompanied by his servants. Oedipus was outraged. He hit the servant with his cane, and the king and his servants grabbed their weapons and advanced against him. Oedipus, being strong, defeated his opponents, unaware that he just killed his real father. The king and his servants were dead aside from one servant who managed to escape. He continues. In his lonely wanderings, he came into the country around Thebes, and he heard what was happening there. He was a homeless, disheartened man to whom life meant little, and he determined to seek the Sphinx, which disturbed the city of Thebes.
You must decide from me or I will devour you. What creature goes to forfeit in the morning, on 2 at noonday, and 3 in the evening?
Man, in childhood he creeps on hands and feet. In manhood he walks erect. In old age he helps himself with his staff. Oedipus answered it right. The Sphinx killed herself. The Thebans were saved. The grateful citizens made him their king and married the king's wife, Eucasta. Oedipus accepted it, thinking that it's better that way to have his own life far from his parents, so they will be safe. For many years they lived happily, but when their 2 sons had grown to manhood, Thebes was visited by a terrible plague.
Your Highness,
I want you to go to Delphi and implore for Apollo's help.
I will, my king. My king, Apollo had declared that the plague would be lifted on one condition. The murderer of King Laius must be punished.
Oedipus gathered the people to proclaim and hear the message Creon brought back. People of Thebes, the late king's murderer has set foot upon our land. thus bring the plague upon us. Let no one give shelter to him. Bar him from your home, as one defiled, companioned by pollution. And solemnly I pray, me who killed King Laius, pour out his life in evil, as he started being evil. Oedipus took the matter into his own hands with energy. He sent for Tiresias, the old blind prophet, the most revered of Thebans.
Oh, the guilty wear, for the love of Zeus, if you know.
Fools! Fools! All of you! I shall not answer.
What made you act like this? Why are you keeping your silence?
You yourself is the murderer you seek.
Leave at once, and never appear before me again.
Neither prophets nor oracles have any knowledge. The God of truth prophesies that King Laius must be killed by our son, and I will eventually end up with him. Therefore, he decided to end his life. But Laius was murdered on the way to Delphi by the robbers.
When did this happen?
Just before your king's death.
How many were with him?
There were 5 in all killed but one.
I must see that man. Sin for that man.
I will, at once. I have to know what is in your mind.
You shall know all that I know. I went to Delphi just before I came here, because a man had come into my face that was not the son of Oedipus. I went to ask Apollo, but he did not answer. But he told me horrible things that should kill my father, marry my mother, and have children men who shuddered to look the fun. I never went back to Corinth. On my way to Delphi, at a place where 3 roads met, I came upon a man with 4 attendants. He tried to force me from the path. He struck me with his stick, hungered to fill upon him. Could it be that his leader was Laius?
The one left alive brought back a king of robbers, the late king. Laius was killed by robbers, not by his son. The poor innocent who died upon the mountain.
As they talked, further proofs seemed given to them that Apollo could speak falsely. A messenger came from Corinth to announce to Oedipus the death of Polybus.
My king, your dear father king has deceased.
Oh, Oracle Apollo! Where are you now? My beloved king had died, but not by his son's hand.
Did the killing of your father took away you from Corinth? Ah, my king, you were in error. You have no reason to fear, for you were not the son of King Oedipus. Although he brought you and raised him as his own, you were never his own flesh and blood.
Where did you get me? Who were my father and mother?
I know nothing of them. A wandering shepherd gave you to me, a servant of King Laius.
Why to waste another man with such a fellow saint? Nothing he says does matter.
My word does not matter?
For the God's sake, go no further. My misery is enough.
The very man, O king, is the one who gave you to me.
And you, do you know him as he knows you?
You must remember that the child that you have been brought is the king himself.
Curse you.
Hold your tongue. What? You will conspire with him to hide from him what he started to know? There are ways to be sure to make a mistake.
Oh, Do not hurt me. I did give him the child, but do not ask the more, master, for the love of Zeus.
If I have to order you the second time to tell me where you got him, you are lost.
Ask your queen, your highness. She can tell you best.
She gave him to you?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I was ordered to kill the child because there was a prophecy.
Prophecy! That he should kill his father?
Yes, my lord.
A cry of agony came from the king. At last, he understood. Oh, sir, now shall my light be turned to darkness? I am accursed. That was the last words heard from the king. He had murdered his father and married his mother. There was no help for him for their children. All were accursed. He found her in her chamber, with no life. She had killed herself when the truth broke upon her. He too turned his hand against himself, but not to end his life. He took his own eyes. He changed his light to the darkness and rushed away from everyone. He became a homeless person. He went unnoticed until he was discovered dead of starvation.